David and housekeeping Austin Jeff.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Jeff Doss, and we got the main gang crew with us today. Let's go with Gene. What's up, Gene? How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. What's up, man?
What's up? We got Brett Shumway over there. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jeff. How you doing?
Doing great. And we got the director, Travis. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas?
All right. What's up, Sam?
Did anybody scream welcome?
Welcome. I did, but I didn't do
Yeah,
it.
Jeff did.
I know.
My speaker went right out as soon as the show started.
That's funny. That's funny. Usually as Alex is doing that, I'm sharing on the groups. I'm like, wait, I can't do that this time because I got to say that. But all right. So how was everyone's weekend? What's been going on? Right, you go.
All right. Well, last time, last weekend I was down with you at your tournament. Since then, I know that you and I talked. So coming off from WKC Nationals, I took some time off. Healed up some injuries that I had. Still working out. I have some things that I know I need to fix after Nationals. First things first, I think I told you, I got to lose 10 pounds. I love my gi, but man, that thing, when I watched my playbacks, I was like, who is this fat guy doing these forms? Like, I thought I was good, but then I watched myself and I was like, man, that looks horrible. So getting back in today was my first karate workout since Nationals for 2 weeks. So feeling good. Other than that, missed battle because I had family obligations, had to take care of my son before we shipped him off to basic training.
Wow.
Had the whole second generation. There we go.
Yeah, man. There you go.
Had the whole family down for Father's Day weekend, and it was good. So
Awesome, man. Awesome. Share everyone how many divisions you did at WKC Nationals.
I did 7.
7, and so that means 14 katas, right?
14 forms. Yep. And then honestly, like I said, I know because Travis was there and he and I were talking. It was crazy to me is I actually felt better Saturday all around than I did Friday. I think it's like you have all day because I drive out there, so it's a 10-hour drive. All day Friday, I'm just sitting in the hotel room thinking about competing. Get there way too early, do way too much warm up, and then Saturday was funny. Saturday is I was thinking like, it's gonna be the same as yesterday. Well, Friday night we had some arbitrations early, so those divisions ran long. And I was really standing there looking like, you know what, I should probably go to the bathroom before I put my gi on and get ready. And I look over and they were lining us up. So I didn't have a lot of warm-up time. And I think actually that was better for me. Like I just went and did it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When 1 year I was able to go, it was the same thing. Like Friday, everything felt way better on Saturday. Just way better for me. So that same idea.
But in a lot of ways, Jeff, that's how we probably work out, right? Like when we work out, we don't run through the kata 10 times and, little things. We just do it. So it probably just felt better just doing it.
Correct. All right, Gene, how you been, my friend?
Man, I've been busy, but I'm good, man. I've been busy, just watching these movies with my boys. There is one of them. What's up, Joe? Right on time. Watching all of these movies. We just did Notorious Nick this week, and that was a good movie. That was a surprising good movie. That is Angel's MMA coach. His name is Nick. And,
okay. So I hadn't heard of it. Right.
Yeah, and they did a movie based on him, and he has one arm, and he did MMA, and he's a wrestler, high school and college wrestler. So when we saw the movie, we watched the movie this week, and we were just impressed with everything that he that he went through, and just, I mean, can you imagine wrestling or grappling with one arm? And I don't really want to say too much. I would rather you guys listen to the podcast and watch the movie. I mean, you can rent it or watch it on Tubi. But it was a pretty good story.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's up, Joe?
What's going on, Jeff? How we going?
Doing great, man. Nice shirt. I always wanted that. I don't have one of those. I have a white one, but I don't have one of those. I know I was supposed to get all my stuff at Battle Atlanta, but I didn't get any of my stuff.
Uh-oh.
You could have got into Chicago too, right?
I know I didn't get it.
All his stuff was there in Chicago, though. That's the funny thing. All of his stuff was there, like just waiting for him to grab it.
Yeah,
but like we talked about it, whenever we are at a tournament, I see Jeff for maybe like 10 minutes. Out of the entire weekend, I see Jeff maybe like. I didn't
see Jeff until it was time to go home. I saw him in the lobby of the hotel Sunday as we were getting ready to leave. That's when I saw Jeff.
Yeah, it's rare I get to see him.
Yeah, like, and usually when you do it, Travis like, hey, come over here and record this because I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna see you again. Let me get these questions that people got to try and beat in Jeffopedia.
Do you even run into him? Because I didn't even run into Jeff. I didn't even see Jeff.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
I heard he was there, but I never ran into him or saw him or anything. They said, "Oh yeah, he's over there competing," and I walked around the floor all the time. I had the camera, and I never saw Jeff.
I'm all over the place, man. I don't know how it is, but people always tell me, like, every time I see you, Jeff, you're always moving. You're always going. You're all over the place in this tournament. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's just the way it is. Yeah. But, Joe, how you been, man?
Doing all right. I talk about it a little bit, but I spent the day today mostly painting my aunt's condo. We're trying to get, put it on the market. We had to move her into a home recently. So, she's got the early stage dementia, Alzheimer's, all that fun stuff. So we're just trying to help out the family, help out my mom, and spent about 4.5 hours painting today. And we're going to go back and finish it up tomorrow. So, and then I literally just came from my son's basketball practice, and then I woofed down a sandwich and jumped on.
Yeah, that's
there you go. That is a way to bring the vibe back up there, Joe.
Hey, man,
that's how you
gotta do it.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was a good day, man. It was a good day.
Right.
Oh man, Travis, what's been going on, man? What's new? I know we got a lot coming up with the main games.
The app is almost done. It's getting into. I'm putting it into the testing phases. So that will be out. Hopefully it'll be out this month for a consumer, that we get to be able to pass all of the inspections that the Apple reviews and all the other ones put you through when you put the app into the store. So hopefully all that passes and everything like that. So that's that. I just got back from Houston. I honestly don't know how I'm doing this right now, because honestly I got off work. I got off the plane at 8:30. Our flight was at 5:30. Coming back, I had to go into work. I had to go into the office to work, and I literally was just sitting there. Like, they were asking me questions. I was looking at them like, I don't know what to tell you guys right now. I'm not even here.
How long has it been since you had to go into the office?
No, we got to go in every Monday and Thursday, which is ridiculous, because I had it scheduled that we can go in every Tuesday and Thursday, specifically for days like this, that I don't have to come. I have to have a vacation. I can I could just work from home one day. But no, they wanted us on Mondays for some weird reason. So, So I was in Houston this past weekend for a bachelor party. So, yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. So, first thing I want to ask is something. Last week we had Mason Stowell on, right? And that was a really great show. You guys go back and listen to it. We had a fun time before that discussing things, talking about my tournament and the different things that we like, and some of the things that we wanted to talk about we didn't even get to, but which usually happens, right? But one of the topics that we asked with Mason was because Mason, with a lot of people in the past, if you just watch the past 5 years, you just seen him do traditional forms and Japanese forms, right? But when he was a junior, he was one of the best in extreme weapons. He won everything, right? So when was it for you guys that when maybe you started focusing in on one division or one category? You know, like, and you guys growing up, was there with your instructor, was there like a, hey, you got to do everything until a certain age or a certain belt, or hey, what would you like to do?
I know I'll go first. The moment we got our black belts, I was done with forms because we had to do forms at every tournament.
Okay.
So when we got our black belts, I was done. I don't think I competed in forms as a black belt. Maybe Travis might have, but I did.
You had you. Well, you mean a black belt adult?
Yeah, I only did.
Black belt juniors. I could see you doing it. You could have
No.
done junior forms. I know Ski was doing all that, but I think he still.
Was,
You know, yeah, Ski was doing it, but I mean, you were what, 14, 13?
Nah, 15.
When you got your black belt, no, you weren't.
I was 14, but it was like 2 days before I turned 15.
Yeah. 3, but yeah. But I was just saying, no, it was.
I don't remember. I don't know why. I would have been crazy to think I was going to win in black belt forms with our Taekwondo form. I can't see it. And I wasn't doing like you and Ski. You guys were taking the traditional forms and changing them. And, you know, you had the splits, you had the axe kick and all that. And Ski had the tornado kicks and all of that. I wasn't doing none of that. So I can't see myself sticking around doing the forms.
Yeah, and this is when it was at that time. I don't think they really broke. It was just forms. It was black belt forms, and then it was black belt weapons. It wasn't like
I don't
specialized divisions.
I don't ever remember a Plowden student doing forms and weapons. I can think of off the top of my head.
Ski.
Adults, yeah. Ski was good.
So maybe because I was a teenager, I'd never paid attention to the adult division.
I didn't do the adults.
I can't remember. I can't remember you or Ski doing. Maybe I saw Ski one time.
He did weapons as well. Yes, he did weapons as well. He did.
I thought Mike did.
I could see that. I could see that.
Didn't Mike do?
Mike did. He did the bow.
Okay.
But
Mike was like me. Mike joined later
on, right?
So yeah, Mike was with a couple different places before he joined. So
now
I would say bow, and he did. I think he did like a Korean forms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mike had a bow also.
Mike had a bow.
Yeah.
Mike
was really good with.
I know Jermaine was at another school before, but I know I've seen him do forms as well, and then obviously I've seen Willie do forms a couple times.
Willie's done forms.
That was fun. The first time,
I have done forms as an adult, but traditional.
Oh, right.
Yeah, exactly. No,
what's the one where they disqualified you for the earrings? What's the one where they disqualified you?
That was in Vegas. I did.
That's what I thought.
Been there.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It was traditional NBL, and then somebody snitched, and I had
Travis,
an earring in.
Was it?
But tell me this: if you didn't win, would they have snitched? Probably not.
No. And they knew I was about to get good scores, so that's why they went.
Joe, nobody arbitrates an 8+ form.
Exactly.
They only arbitrate if they think you have a shot of winning.
Yeah,
exactly. What was that? 2000 or 2001 when you guys did that?
I think
probably
2001.
Okay,
I think it was 01, but no, it might have been 2000 because 2001 we ended in June.
You ended before the Vegas tournament. Yeah.
So it probably was 2000.
We did that in Vegas. CJB did it where all the fighters did forms at that weekend. So that's why I remember it being a thing. And then some of the old SCS guys that were still there were doing it too. But I did hear that it happened because I didn't get to go to Vegas in 2000.
Yeah, that's when it was there. I think that's when it was because we did that. I think Carlos did forms, Willie, Ski. Everybody, Brian Plemple did forms, like Regina, like we all did forms, like at that event.
That was fun. So
I think Los had did real well too. I don't know if I'm not mistaken.
Los did.
He used to do them.
Los used to be really good at creating forms.
Yeah, and he would go out to the West Coast because when he would do Bay Area's best, and he had a #1 seed in musical forms on the Westpac side a lot, like that's in amazing. 2000, 2001.
And back in that time, I mean, Los used to be able to jump through the roof.
Yep.
Back before when he was light heavy that time around 99, 2000.
Yeah.
his jump split kick was up there for days.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So to answer the question, I was 16. Once I went into the adult division locally, and I guess say regionally, that's when I just focused pretty much on. And at that time, I grew, so everything was just awkward for me. Like that was the time around the time I grew at like 16. Prior to that, I was probably like 5'7", and then I just grew to 6'3", and like overnight. So everything was just completely different for me. So, but yeah, at that point, I was done. I was done with forms. I was just gonna fight.
I mean,
man. I don't think I did junior. I don't think I did adult black belts like that. No, I would have done weapons. But I just never finished learning the forms. I would have hit the bow, but we just never finished.
But share because you've kind of gone. Well, so have I.
I mean, he's not technically one division. You guys aren't technically doing one division. It's not like you're just only doing.
Well, I'm only doing one style. I'm not. I don't do Korean creative, any of that stuff anymore. And to answer your question from before, Jeff, for us, Mr. Evans won't allow it. Like. Right. We only have one student that's not allowed to do a division, and that's Otis Wade. Because if you ever saw him do kata, Hanji's like, not one of my black belts. You're not going out on the floor. So Odie was the only one that was only allowed to fight. But when you talk about focusing on a division, like for me, when I was younger, I only focused on fighting because when I wasn't good. So that's like the only thing I wanted to do. So I did kata only because I was forced to do it, but I focused like. When we went to the dojo, I only showed up when it was time to fight. Right. And I only did a kata when they were like, hey, go do your kata. I'd go do it real quick, and then I'd go right back into fighting. But now it's necessity. Now I'm getting old. So there's no Korean forms, creative forms. There's no more fighting. It's just Japanese Okinawan. So, and I'll be honest with you, something that you didn't touch on with Mason that I think a lot of people are unaware of. The way that we train now for Japanese Okinawan forms is completely different than we ever did 10, 15 years ago. I mean, we train more like athletes now than we did. I mean, I didn't do any resistance training for kata or stuff like we're doing now. So I don't know if I would have enough time in my day to do anything else.
That's a true statement. I mean, it's I know for me, I mean, I've kind of gone a lot like through everything, right? I mean, there was one point where I did only open forms. I stopped doing Korean for like 2 or 3 years and just did open forms. And I call it open forms because that's what it is, It's just like, and then I went back to doing continuous fighting. And I mean, people forget that was the first thing I got on stage for was continuous fighting, right? 2 years in a row, not at least for NBL. And then I cut back, and then I went back to doing Japanese and Korean. Then I went to when I became a promoter, and it was like, all right, I'm only going to these tournaments and only doing Korean. And then I went and did everything again. And then when I came back a few years ago, I did probably 8-9 divisions, like a lunatic. And now I'm back to doing 2 divisions. And then if they have Korean Challenger division at a tournament, I'll do that. But that's one division that's more like 3 divisions because it's 3 rounds. And, for me, especially at some of the tournaments, when you add in runoffs, you add in night show, you also add in, hey, we want to do a overall senior thing like AmeriKick does. That's it was like 2 more runoffs forms that I had to do. So you just have to be on your toes and ready to go. But I think it just depends on what your focus is, right? Of course, it's going to be what you enjoy, but also when you become an adult, other things are happening too, right? You got life, you got school, you got college. You say, where do I really want to hone in on? Not that it means that, hey, I'm going to be less of a martial artist. I don't think that's it. I think because most of us, if we're really doing this and we're good martial artists, we don't just train what we compete in. We also do classes and train and do that as well. For me, when I didn't have my karate school, again, I've talked about this on the show, but there was almost, was it 98 to 10 years I didn't have a karate school. I was training outside in pretty much my farm area that I lived at. I would go random place. I had a small room that I would train at. I may go to some other people's like school for like a weekend every now and then and go train. I would try to get some sparring in with Sean Elliott's group. I would go up to Ibi Abdallah's school sometime and train, or I go up to Charlie Lee's and train. And that was 3 or 4 hours training just to do it. So it just really makes you appreciate when you do have that, you know? And that's why for me, people think that, oh, when you have a school, your competition level is going to go down. Mine was the complete opposite. When I opened my school, that was when my best years, you know, happened. It's like I won all my first titles. I started, you know, since then, it's like I've been on a roller coaster ride a surf ride that I'm going to keep riding that wave, right? I don't want to get off. So I think that's the big thing is it's just different for everyone. Do I love sparring training? Yeah, I do. But I also know a certain level, especially when you become a sponsored player, you are there for a certain reason. You know what I mean? And you have to decide, you know, where the focus is. If you mess up doing something just because if you do, you know, here's a perfect example. We're at Capital Classics, right? And they do continuous fighting. All right. And this was 2004. So Jason Borelli wants to do continuous fighting. All right. He's like, all right, this is what I'm good at. They're going to give money for it. Okay. That's great. He does. And he wins his division. They do an overall grand for continuous fighting, which is ridiculous, right? Because you have and at that time he's light. He went down like 155. And so he gets hurt and breaks a rib doing continuous fighting. And that messes him up to win the overall. That messes us up in the team fighting. And, you know, that's a perfect thing of, yes, you can do it all, but you have to learn, you know, not to. And I have to pull myself back a lot of times, too, to do that, too. It's like, oh, I can do this. I can do that. Recently, last year, it was that I was trying to do all the 30-plus divisions, all the 40-plus divisions, all the 18. And it's like, hey, don't do that. I pulled that back and I started winning the 30-plus grands every tournament after that, you know? So it's just, you know, because again, everyone asks, hey, do you want to, yes, I want to fight. I love fighting, like, but just depends on some tournaments, you know?
Right.
Joe, what are you thinking?
Oh, I know exactly mine. Cause see, I started at a different karate school and we did all three. We had people good at all three, but you know, we never had a specialty per se, because we had Lapeer, had Dan Cousineau, and they were forms and weapons in the local tournaments, and then, you know, Team Plowden, they had fighting, and then Four Seasons just kind of, you know, had everybody a little bit here and a little bit there. Some would win forms of weapons, some would win sparring, some would, you know, just in between. But I stopped doing forms of weapons the second I joined with Team Plowden.
Really? Wow.
And it wasn't no. I always for me, I always enjoyed sparring more than my brother. So my dad, when he came to us about switching schools, it was we could go over to Cousineau or we could go over to Plowden. And right away I said Plowden. That was a no-brainer for me. My brother, he liked sparring, but I think he always enjoyed the forms of weapons as well. But he wanted to spar too. So yeah, it was easy for me. And to go to the tournaments and spar all the time, that's all I wanted to do anyway. So it was no problem. And I think that was right when I got my black belt. So about 16 or 17. So
Brett, what was the most divisions you did at one tournament? I know I probably have the record for this one of our group, but still.
Hey, somebody's notification is going off right now.
Yeah.
I know who's that we keep hearing.
That's my bad.
It might have been 2001. Oh man, probably Kansas City, because I did all the divisions I normally did in the NBL at that time, which was I never technically entered self-defense, but I was everyone's uke. So I was the one who got the crap kicked out of me in every division. So I did two self-defense divisions. I did Japanese, Okinawan, Korean. I stopped doing creative open hand at that point, but I was doing traditional weapons, creative weapons, teams, continuous point. And then I, for some reason, decided I wanted to try wushu. So I did wushu in that division or that tournament, which was horrible. Thank goodness nobody has that on tape. That's an embarrassment. I should never do soft style.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't say the same. That there's a couple of videos of me doing it on YouTube. So, yeah.
No,
In-
actually,
In a
That's
pair of Converse. Okay.
All right, let me ask, when did demo division start? Because that's different than the actual
Yeah.
team
In
sync.
NASCAR, it was around 99, 2000. I'm thinking maybe 2000 was the first time, but it may be a little bit after that.
Okay. Like I think I probably would have wanted to do that, the demo portion of it. Or like Brett was talking about the self-defense, even though that it's more of like it's more of a show. It's more of a skit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would have loved to have done that more so. Like if I had known
Yeah,
that was actual time.
I wanted
not the
to
way we did
elaborate
it,
on
brother.
that because
Dude,
how
I
did
got
that
beat
work?
up.
How did self-defense, like what did they score you on? Because that sounds fun to me.
Application
That's what I'm saying, like-
technique, application of technique. We did so in NBL. They split it up to choreographed fight and traditional.
Yeah.
So in traditional
Okay.
self-defense, you were supposed to use traditional movements, but again, that like we're a
Got
Goshin jiu-jitsu based style, so we were all doing wrist locks, arm bars, chokes. We just presented it the same way like Japanese do bunkai. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of BS. We're gonna throw a lunge punch at you, and then you're gonna, beat the crap out of us and lock us up and choke us out.
Right.
But I'll say one thing differently, and again, this was more like up in my region, because really in the NBL there was 3 real big areas for traditional self-defense. There was Texas with Dan Baker's guys and all them, Jody Sasaki out of California, and then the entire Can-Am region. So upstate New York and Canada, and we did our style of traditional self-defense, and all 3 were completely different.
Completely different.
Um,
Yeah. The
like
West
we-
Coast style was more of a Kaju style or a Kempo
Yep.
style, depending on.
And Dan was actually a mix of both because he had some locks and some stuff in his as well. And then we just were all arm bars, leg locks, chokes, slaps across the face.
And then later on, the Mexican group, the Mexican karate guys got really big into it as well and
Yeah.
did more of like the bunkai from forms and stuff.
Yeah. The really best one, honestly, that was kind of an outlier was Trinidad. The guys, Don Jacobs guys out of Trinidad and Tobago. Was it Red Dragon, Purple Dragon? Purple Dragon. They were really good.
Yeah, they won several times at ISK as well, I think. So, yeah, self-defense was crazy, man. So, and the choreographed ones got, like, honestly, in a lot of ways, that was what NBL was known for a while because they went a little over the top, extreme, like they did Night of the Roxbury one time. That was
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was wild. It was fun. But I remember when we started live streaming some of the Super Grands, and that was what was on there, and people were like, "What the heck is this?" They were just like,
No, that's
"What
fun.
is it?" I know it's fun,
Listen,
but you have those
we
haters.
used to do in-house tournaments at Four Seasons, and you got to do skits like that, similar to that, and they had to incorporate self-defense. And I won. I was Steve Urkel, and I was Steve Urkel, and I let I was the character that I was playing with Steve Urkel, and I got the rest of my brother and 2 other guys dressed up like a biker gang, and so I just did all the Steve Urkel isms, and it was fun. It was that the Night at the Roxbury sounds great. I would love that.
At some point, can we retire the nerd skit that every karate school does?
Why?
At some point, that's just
Why?
getting
Dude,
bullied.
Urkel turned into
same
Bruce Lee.
shit.
Urkel turned into Bruce Lee. You can't beat that.
So Urkel turns into a martial artist, and the martial artist turned into Urkel. Okay, that makes sense.
See, perfect. Gene gets it.
No.
Oh man. All right, we'll get into this question in a second. I want to talk to a topic that Brett is going to talk about in his show, but just kind of relating it to our sport. And there's a big issue going on in the WKF with a world champion about drug testing, and I'm sure you can get into it. But I want to know about like drug testing. If we could do this in sport karate, how crazy it would be. Now I know that. Say again.
What are we testing for?
There you go.
So
So
some
here's the
people's not gonna be able to compete. Like,
yeah, I know.
exactly. What are we testing for?
So this isn't just a thing that happens in, of course, in WKF, it's a thing because of, IOC certification, right? WACO, it's a thing, but a lot of times I've only heard about it as a big deal for the World Combat Games, which is coming up soon. I remember, talking to Chelsea when she was doing the World Combat Games years ago, and they would just randomly show up at her house, right? And they showed up a bunch of times than what she was expecting, compared to, like, wow, I'm doing one tournament and this is for, 4 times or something like that. Like, it's wild, right? So, Brett, explain just like the WADA system and what it is they have to do.
So, like I said, I'm no expert. I'm starting to get, because of the decision that came down within the WKF, I'm starting, because I do want to cover this intensely on my show, not this week, but the one following up, because there's a lot of things with it, right? So the biggest thing is that I see that's a problem is not actually people testing positive for things. It's a whereabouts violation, meaning that these guys have to be present to be tested. And it's like some of them have an app or whatever, and they have to put in like 3 months in advance where they're going to be. And they need to provide a 60-minute window where they're going to be almost every day in case it's a pop-up test. And that's where the majority of the violations happen, whether, people are saying it could be software issues, it could be everything. But like, I look at that as that's got to be the hardest thing. Because to me, I look at it honestly like house arrest. I mean, I got to tell you, everywhere I'm going to be, I don't know where I'm going to be. Like, I might just decide to jump in the car with the family and drive up north tomorrow. Well, can I do that? Can I not do that? And I get, if everyone's doing it, I get that it's fair and it applies to everyone across the board. But it just seems like, to me, it sounds great on paper, right? We want to make sure that nobody is using PEDs. But in application, it's a lot. And I don't know.
Is it only fighters that are getting drug tested, but forms as well?
Forms too.
For WKF, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be the asshole to say it?
What for?
Why?
Yeah.
It's like what are we doing here? What are you gonna get out of the enhancement of doing it? Is it? I mean, I know you can make your opponent strong, but
stronger. Yeah.
Well,
but
I know, like when they were talking about it with baseball, right? When it was happening in baseball with steroids, it really was shocking because everyone found out it wasn't the hitters, it was the pitchers.
It's the pitchers, yeah.
Because of the recovery. And I would say that's probably where the same thing, you recover. I mean, some of these guys are working out 4.5, 5 hours every day doing kata or weightlifting or whatever. So if they have an advantage with the recovery, I would say it's in along the same lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, dude,
any advantage?
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, like if I go go into the hyperbaric chamber and nobody else can do it, like that's kind of an advantage as well. So I'm like,
there's a lot
I
of things
get it when you're fighting. Yeah, like when you're fighting somebody, I can see it. But
I mean, why do they drug test pro wrestlers?
Yeah, what the hell?
I mean, it makes no sense. That's all a publicity type thing, That's just a political thing,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when it comes to pro wrestlers, I mean, you don't want to have a bunch of guys and women doing that because people are going to start abusing it, and then you're going to start having more people die from it. So I think it's a way to kind of curb that. I think
that's probably more of it, right? It's because of that policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you see that being a thing and on the other end, bodybuilding? I mean,
you see people dying every week just about in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And they're not
and wrestlers.
People. I mean, not. I mean,
if a wrestler gets to be 60, that's an accomplishment. Like, to be
especially guys from them,
from like the 80s and 90s, to be 60.
I mean, that won't be a thing soon, though. They're just gonna have like video game addiction. Sorry.
Well, yes,
they were doing a lot of other things.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. Sorry.
So we hijacked Brett's stuff. Start talking about that. All right. Sorry, Brett. Get back to being serious. What's going on?
No, you're good. No, you're good. No, I guess the only thing that, like I said, the one thing I found interesting is they monitor stuff as well, like caffeine use, nicotine, and not saying that that's an illegal substance, but it's also they monitor it for abuse. It seems like I like I said, I'm just scratching. There is like on the website, there is like 35 documents I have to read through to figure this out because I'm only gotten through a couple of them, and I'm like, I looked at the checking in policy and all that, and I thought that was ridiculous. But we'll see how it all plays out.
Did they say what would be considered to be nicotine use, Brett?
Oh,
No.
What would they consider to be like? At what point does smoking a cigarette get to be an abuse? Like, do you? Is it one pack? Is it half a pack? Like, what are they?
2
I
packs?
have no idea. I haven't dove that deep into it. I will say, Bill Viola. I talked to him. He has been through the training, the WADA training. So I will. He will be a resource that I will use to get some more information on it.
Like,
but I will say, all in all, there was only 3. The WKF's only ever had 3 people that they have actually banned in the sport.
Yeah.
Where were
since
they from?
started it?
know?
One was from France, one was from Turkey, and the other one was from Morocco, I think. And that one, the one from Morocco, was legit. He tested for some stuff.
Just looked at him.
Uh-oh.
The other 2 were whereabouts violations.
But
Okay.
Morocco, let's just say Morocco. Do y'all remember when I showed y'all that video of like the riot at the Glory fight? That was Morocco.
Yeah.
Okay, that whole place looked like they were on PEDs. right?
That's crazy.
All right. So let's see. Man, there's so much to talk about, and so many things that all right, here's the deal. Here's a funny thing some funny things when you're putting on a tournament and you get parents kind of questioning certain things. You're like, really? You're really questioning that? You're really like, that's going to be something that you're going to, complain about? But I never thought of it, but it sounds kind of crazy as like an excuse, but it could be a real thing, right? Is one of the parents said, hey, it's not fair that some of these kids are wearing all this gear and some aren't. The kids wearing all the gear are fighting more aggressive, and the kids without the gear are a little bit more timid because they're going to get hit harder. What should, because again, in our area, it's everything, all that stuff, all the extra gear is optional, right? But NASCAR tournaments, people, they have to wear all that, right? So what's your kind of thought on that? For me, I said, hey, it's optional. If you want to put it on, put it on. I don't, that was kind of my thing.
I think it's BS because the people that growing up, the people who were wearing all the extra gear, they were the people we used to beat up on who would fight a little bit timid.
Exactly.
Like they had that big old chest protectors. Like, all right, yeah, we want to just wail on you. So I think
that's
it's an excuse. Yeah, I think it's an excuse.
So Jeff, what is the extra stuff you're talking about?
So face shield and a chest protector mostly, right? I don't think it's really anything else.
I can see the face protector.
Face protector. I think the chest protector actually to me is probably more of a both of them really. Because again, what are most people afraid of? Getting hit with a D side is going to drop you, right? That's one of the things. And then again, hitting his face too. Both of them about the same.
A D side in the face might be worse.
I think fighting with a face mask is actually worse though. Like, have you guys ever fought with a face mask on? Because I know when I fogged up, but like the rattling that happens inside of that when you get hit. I had one on for a while. I had a broken nose, so I was fighting with that face mask on, and I didn't like it. Like the sound, it's like almost the first time. You remember the first time you wore like a top 10 headgear? I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, like that rubber pop.
I've never worn a top 10 headgear.
Oh, so there's a pop in your ear when you get hit with that, and that's weird to get used to.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's the same thing for me when
I don't know why that's funny.
The same thing to me when I put that face guard on. It was like I didn't like the sound inside of the headgear when I got.
But I think it just like some of the kids, but here's another thing. Some of the kids that are wearing that probably have been competing in national events, and some of the kids that haven't been. So they have so much more experience. So they're aggressive in that manner because they understand that I know what I'm doing. I'm comfortable in it. The other person who probably hasn't been out there competing as much, they probably don't have the gear that they need, and they're a little more timid. I think that's more so the case. And I can see, but for these kids, they've probably been fighting in face masks the majority of their lives, so they're used to that face mask. So I don't look at it as being that's the reason for them being more aggressive. I just think they've had more training, they're more confident, and they're ready to fight. And they're just at that point, in particular point, they're just a little bit better.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I've seen. Go ahead.
No, you go, Joe. You go, Joe.
I've seen that face mask fail before.
Oh yeah.
And I think Travis was at the same tournament. We had a guy broke his nose a few times, so he put on the plastic face shield. He took a jump spinning sidekick to the face, bent it inwards, and broke his nose through it.
Yeah.
You know who did the kick, right?
Who?
Terrence Alfred.
Oh
no, I don't even remember that.
Terrence Alfred, it was a nice kick too. He jumped up and pushed that face shield right in and re-broke the dude's nose from my club.
Well,
yeah, it was crazy. It was. I was looking like I could just like, yeah, you thought you were safe, and it was not safe, and so he had to get a cage, steel cage.
Yeah, I hated.
So
the
you're
cage.
not. The cage is
too many
terrible.
blind spots that it's just.
Yes,
it really.
I couldn't wear it. I couldn't wear either one, but I never broke my nose. I got hit in the face a few times, bruised it, but I never broke it. So.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, that would mess me up.
With the face shield, are you guys wearing mouthpieces?
Yes,
I do. Yeah, you still have to because they still check to see if you have.
You should. It's actually dumb if you don't, because the mouthpiece isn't just for it's for protecting you from getting knocked out. You can still get knocked out when wearing one of those face shields.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to breathe all of a sudden.
We've come a long way on that mouthpiece thing, Jeff. Because I mean, you remember back when the rule just said it had to be part of your uniform.
Yeah,
and Trevor would just stick it in his ear hole.
Yep.
And
my friend Don Alley used to do the same thing. He never wore a mouthpiece.
I still don't understand people who don't wear cups.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I will say now that the cups have come a long way. Back in the day, those cups are very hard to. I like awful. Kicking in them.
I've had debates with football players about it. I didn't know football players they don't like wearing cups, and I'm like, that's crazy, especially if you're on the line.
Yeah,
hell no, that's crazy.
Helmet to helmet hit.
Yeah, or get stoned.
So Malachi Randall at Battle of Atlanta broke a kid's face shield, and
he broke the shield.
He broke the shield, cracked it. And Malachi had to stop the fight and the judge was just going to let it go. And he's like, no. It broke. If I hit him again, it's going to go in and cut him or mess him up. And the ref didn't, they didn't notice it. And it's like, there's a lot of things. To me, the worst one I saw was one of the Spences. I think it was at Chicago. The shield, the guy punched him as hard as he could. And the shield went into his throat and broke his larynx, right?
Whew.
Yeah,
it was bad.
I hate to be this guy, but that guy that Malachi was fighting, did he get a warning for an equipment malfunction like they do on NASCAR?
Hilarious.
Because he had to get a new face mask, right?
Yeah.
So it's wild, man. I mean, when it's weird because everyone that does NASCAR and most of the terms are like, hey, of course they're mandatory. They have to be a thing. But in the NBL, it wasn't like that. So a lot of my kids, it's hard to get them to go and compete and fight in NASCAR because they're like, why? Why do I have to wear all this stuff? And I have to get them used to that. It's a whole nother process. Because even in AAU, which you think they would be, they're used to wearing the in Olympic sparring, wearing the big hogus. None of that is they don't even let you wear that stuff in point sparring over there. Mm-hmm. So shout out to one of my students, just won the national championship in AAU Taekwondo today. And then they got 2 or 3 more days of competing They're out in Salt
Are they
Lake
in
City.
Orlando again?
No,
Lake City?
Salt Lake City this time. Now karate is back in Orlando. I mean, not Orlando. Sorry, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then next year, all of them are going to be in Fort Lauderdale. It's going to be AAU Taekwondo, AAU Karate, AAU Sport Karate. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So, but
Is
but
that
yeah,
AAU Sport Karate gonna be USA?
that's the one
Sport
that
Karate?
Jeremy is running.
With
Yeah.
Jeremy's running? Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty cool, man. And that venue there at Fort Lauderdale is awesome. I mean, it's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah, and they have more space to do more stuff too. You know, like because you came and you saw where the AAU for the Taekwondo was, right?
Taekwondo was, yeah.
Karate was in that.
I did. Yeah, I went over to the karate and saw the space. They hadn't started. I think they were starting a couple of days later, or whatever the case may be. But yeah.
It's wild, man. So they're looking to grow it even more, man. And then one of those rooms is going to be sport karate. I don't know if they'll put it in the same as karate or, I mean, there's a lot of room in that Taekwondo room. They could have added a few more rings if they wanted to, and they had 20 in there. So
they had 20 prep rings in the back because each ring had their own prep area so that you go. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Staging area. So yeah.
And this year's the first year they used Uventex, so they didn't have. I think everything went a lot smoother with them not having to use paper and I don't even know what they're doing with the stage in the back there with it, but I guess they're just having them back there and then putting them on the iPad and doing it that way. So, but I decided I needed a week home instead of, a break.
Yeah.
Real quick on that subject, more tournaments need that. If they don't if they don't have an extra ring, at least have a matted area where we can warm up because. I mean,
especially with them limiting amount of space of where people can be. You can't be on the floor, you can't be here. No, move from over here. And they need to warm up somewhere. They need an area that's dedicated to that. And if it was kind of organized, that would help a lot. But then that's with more people, more space.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? Like I said this to Jeff when we were at his tournament. I'm spoiled now. I've had mats. I don't want to go back. Like his tournament was on the hotel floor. And he was like, "Hey, remember this? Ain't this great?" I said, "I ain't doing no kata on that crap." I got used to mats.
So
but on the ice rink.
That's right, the ice rink, man. That was fun.
We did self-defense on that ice rink with no mats.
That was wild.
The worst one I went to was New England Open, and that was like straight on the concrete.
Yeah.
But it was the ice rink. So they pull out the ice or they put it underneath it, and your feet are like everyone's walking saw and socks and getting sick, and it was crazy.
Honestly, in '99 when they did Super Grands there at Niagara Falls, that's the first time I ever saw like Under Armour cold weather gear. I think it was like Regina had all on underneath her. Like all the guys from Texas and Mexico. I never seen any of that stuff before. They had that all underneath their uniform.
All right, Jeff. What's the next topic?
All right, so Brett, I know you probably just forgot, but all right. So right now we got U.S. Open coming up. All right, and U.S. Open time is always crazy, right? So they put out these ISK rankings. And man, it's a hot topic because it's interesting. And I've told Jackson and I've told everyone, like, dude, I've called them the ADHD rankings very many times because it's like you have someone who, shows up for one tournament, wins, and all of a sudden they weren't even competing all year. And then now they're number one or number two. And it's like, whoa, how does that make sense when it's supposed to be from, well, it depends on who you talk to. If it's from right after last U.S. Open all the way to now, or if it's from January to now, either way, it should be focused on what the results are from, all the tournaments, right? Hello, sir. How are you? But it seems like again, here's a good one that we all love, Casey Marks Nash, right? She's the greatest, right? But she shows up at one tournament and now she's number one in all of it. Well, that doesn't really make sense, right? like again, if Djokovic wins the Wimbledon this year, he's not going to move up to number one. All right. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't, if Tiger Woods wins the Masters out of nowhere, he's not going to jump up to number one in the world. It doesn't work that way. So like, how is it that we have it that way in this system, which is supposed to, these rankings are the ones that are going to put people into the stage for the ISK championship at the US Open. Right. And so it's just really funny to me how that happens. There's people that are ahead of certain people and they've gotten finalists in their own division, but they're ahead of people who have won their division, right? Every tournament. Or
are they ISK members or something like that? Do you have to be a member to get ranked?
Oh, no. I mean, all these tournaments are mostly NASCAR tournaments, right? So it's kind of like, are we going off the NASCAR ones? Or I know a lot of them say, well, it's mostly off of Grand Championships. Well, look at, and this is just one for me, right? Pia is the number one person. She's the reigning champion, right? Sofia Rodriguez, Florida. And she has won almost every Grand this year. I think really she's won every one. There's only been like 3 people that have beaten her in a division at all throughout this, right? And one was where it was a weird one where technically she didn't lose because they granted both of them first place, right? That was that, right? And then the other 2 times were the Korean division, where Cody Molina won, and Alice Gross won. Both of those times, those 2 people that won got runner-up to her in the overall Grand. Both of those girls are not even on the list. You have other people that are on the list that are getting like 5th place or 4th place in the division. So in the division, in like the regular Japanese division. So what are we doing right now, right? What is it we're trying to do? Are we trying to just get rid of, again, a lot of us, again, I'll do this thing where they're pushing all the Korean guys out and they want all the Japanese guys in, or sorry, Oki guys, Jappy Oki guys, all right, in. There's that, right? Again, you got Noah Thomas, who's in the Grand Championship runoffs almost every time, and he's way down in 4th, You have some other guys that just consistently aren't winning their own division, Now, again, are their divisions hard? Yes. I mean, I can say this though here, like my division's hard. Okay. I'm 41 winning a division with 18, 19, 20, and 21 year olds, right? It's hard, but I've won every time, So again, I just keep getting moved down. So it's like, whatever.
It's hard. I won every time.
I've won every time, but
contradictory statement.
But again, I didn't. I lost twice in the Korean Challenge, though, right? So
yeah.
So I mean, so there is that, right? It's just funny to me.
That's not a NASCAR rated event.
Exactly, it's not a NASCAR event, so it doesn't even count on there. Well, it depends on who you talk to, because one time that when I lost, it counted for the person that beat me. But when I won it, it didn't count for me. I didn't move up because I won, right? So it's So that's kind of how that works, right? So I just think it's really, really interesting. Yeah, there are people that won. I'm glad Andrew's on here because he understands a lot of this too. Yeah, people win 1 Grand and automatically become number 1 when they actually got like 4th or 5th place in their other tournament that they went in before that. Like that's wild to me, right? But they win 1 Grand and they move up. Yeah. And some people, and again, listen, I don't know how I'm in the top 5 for senior forms because I haven't competed in senior forms this year because of the new rule. The only thing I could think of is that, well, Jeff is a senior and he is the top guy in the 18 plus and they're keeping me in there in case, but you never know what's happening at ISK. They may decide, hey, Jeff, we're not going to put you in the 18 plus Grand overall, but we're going to throw you in to this random senior one. Wait, what? Who knows? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I think that's what makes it fun, but also frustrating.
Wait, so let me ask this question. What is the purpose of the rankings?
It's supposed to be where you can kind of see to where when we go into US Open, whatever the rankings are pretty much now, those are all those people have the spots, right, in the finals.
Okay. So
Now, the
basically, the
only way it
rankings
could
determine
change,
who they want in the nighttime finals.
right? The only way it could
So-
change is if there's a big shift, right?
So
Right.
let me ask you, adult, do you have the rankings right now?
Where's my phone? Yeah.
I'm just curious who's in the adult women's Japanese Okinawan.
Well, there's not like that. It's just traditional.
Okay, who's in the
Yeah.
traditional then?
I mean, oh, wow, no time.
Are they doing
So,
this the way
I might
college
be
football
tracking
does their ranking?
where you're thinking here, Travis. But go
I'm
ahead.
I'm just curious who would be in the traditional women's.
all right, women's
Right,
traditional forms. All right, so here's the thing too. They have a reigning champion, right? So, reigning champion is Amber Rutherford, right? She
Okay.
won last year and the year before. Number 1 is Maddie Kinaway. Number 2 is Gabrielle Rudolph. Number 3 is Lily McGuire. Number 4 is Caitlin Vaughn, and number 5 is Caitlin McMillan. All right.
Katie's
So-
that far down. Who was 3?
And 3 is Lily McGuire. So
Okay.
now, to me, that's interesting how she moved over Caitlin when Caitlin actually won the division. Now, Lily won the Korean Challenge, but talking to all of them, the Korean Challenge doesn't count, doesn't matter. But really,
Is this based off of what happened at Battle?
I don't know if it is or not. I know now Lily did win the Grand Championship at Pan Am's, but Caitlin wasn't there, right? So,
I was about to say like,
but again, Caitlin hasn't lost to Lily all year long in the division. Now, and she has lost to her in Korean Challenge. So,
for her not to
Now
be
with-
3,
with-
that's kind of wild to me.
yeah,
And with
Maddie has.
is Caitlin McMillan in there with her Kempo more so than her Japanese?
Good question.
Because
Yeah.
I would say she's won more Kempo than she's won Japanese divisions, right?
And
well,
again,
we know that. There's only
Rose-
one person who's won the Japanese division.
Rose isn't on the list, right? And that's the
you go.
interesting one. Yeah.
And
So,
she was.
yeah.
and
And
she
again,
won
I'm not
8Ks.
saying this is easy, but there's some things that, again, like what have you done for me lately? Which I get. I know
So,
for me, like, my thing
if there-
was like, go ahead.
I was going to ask if they're all 6 of them there. Those would be the 6 that would be in the nighttime finals, or would they
Well, they're
base
only
it?
put 3 probably at the most. Sometimes they do 2. So last year they took Lily and Gabrielle, and then Amber was up there as the reigning champion. The past 2 years they put me and whoever won the Japanese. So it was me and how do I forget his name? Young
Diego?
kid. No,
Luca.
that was the year before. Who'd you
Was
say?
it Luca?
Yeah, Luca. Me and Luca against Joey. The year before it was me and Diego against Joey. All right, so that's kind of how they did that. So who knows, right?
On that note, Jeff, I got to bounce out. You guys have a good night, and I'll talk
See
to
you,
you later.
brother.
Well,
All right, see you, Brett.
Brett, I just want to
Yeah,
ask, who would the 3 that you would like to see there?
Oh,
In the traditional
for men's or women's?
Women's.
for women's, Maddie for sure. Caitlin Vaughn for sure.
That mean
That would probably have to be it.
Yeah, and then
yeah,
Amber.
Yeah, it'd have to
Amber
be
has to be. Yeah.
because she's
Yeah.
a champ. So all right, so it'd be those 3. I mean, I was just curious. What,
Real
what would
quick,
be
because
the
you know
interest-
I don't like to talk about the Korean Challenge because I don't know nothing about it. However, from what I saw, at least of Atlanta, the 2 winners were based. It seemed like the kicks were definitely had more weight to the overall score of those two
Yeah.
2 performances in my opinion. I thought Caitlin's overall form I thought was a little better. I thought your form was a little better. I think the 2 to 1 definitely damn near kick vertical. It seemed like that was the theme of the Korean Challenge division at the Battle of Atlanta.
All right.
But I think Caitlin Vaughn in Korean, I personally think she might be the top one right now because everything is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's why I was just curious about who they would put in there because I always like to see clashing of styles as opposed to just everybody looking the same.
Yeah, that's what I think is good, is important to it. I think that's what the point of it is. But the problem is it's not always judged that way, right? So like,
Yeah.
you know. So,
All right, guys, I got to head to work.
see, bro.
All right,
Bye,
see you,
Brett.
Brett.
And see, a lot of people are saying this: there should be a Korean overall on stage. I don't know. I mean, I think when we start dividing up so much, like, are we becoming open martial arts anymore? You know, now I think
Well,
that's
what would
makes,
be the division? Would it be
Well,
are
we
you
could
saying
do
men
Korean
versus women,
challenge.
or are they
No.
saying when they said like are they saying ITF versus WTF? Like what are they?
It could be any of those things, right? Like it could be, hey, we're just going to take the Korean challenge and the traditional challenge and have the top two go head to head against each other as overall. Kind of like, you remember NBL used to do that, right? For a couple years in the finals, they would just, of course, in the night show for Super Grands, they did that where the top two went against each other. But they started doing that in place of actual grand championships for a while. They would just take the top two, and then that would be you go again for the money. And they did that in like 2000 and 2001 for a lot of that. Then they brought back the overall, and they even had a soft style overall. That thought was cool because, again, some people don't know how to compare that versus the hard style, right? So they would take the traditional soft, the open soft, and the weapons all against each other. You know, that wasn't bad. And I think they even put Kimpo, and they put Kimpo in there too, I think. Yeah. And again, I agree. Like Larry and I, like we've been doing this for a long time and being the top in our division. So, but yes, like Andrew said, the purpose is to see who's in the U.S. Open night show, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, it's interesting. The funniest ones are the ones that really don't matter, are the rankings that they have for like open weight and stuff, because they just take the top two anyway from the division. So I don't know why they do like a rankings, because they're not choosing those in there, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Who's ranked highest in breaking?
Yeah, they don't have that.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I guess they do, but it's not on this part.
I was just curious who's going to be.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think they have a rankings. I mean, they have a qualifier and stuff to get into all that. You got to qualify.
Yeah, that's a whole thing at the US Open, that breaking area that they have back there.
Yeah.
Joe, you ever did that?
Yeah, I've done a few breaking tournaments.
No, I meant the US Open. You ever been down there to compete?
No, never.
Actually, Jane, I think you should go
to the US Open or to.
Yeah, I think because it's at Disney, right? So that'd be something for you, and not to mention jump kick with the comic stuff like that down there. With you take the kids, go down there, and then I think y'all should probably do it next year.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be this year.
Yeah, it's in 2 weeks. It's like in 2 weeks. It's like, no, it's not gonna happen. But I would say for you to do it, I think you should go down there just to experience
Travis, it's funny you say that, because I have that on the wall. As I have national tournaments that I want to start going to. That's on there. That battle. What's the other one? I got a few of them.
Okay.
I don't know.
I would say those would be the. It's just. But I would say those three would be the only ones that I would. I would say it'd be those three, just for the sheer volume of people and exposure for what you're doing. You could possibly do Ocean State. Ocean State wouldn't be bad because they're not small. But when you start getting into some of the other ones, it's just like you go into. I'm not gonna say any of the tournaments names, but you go to some of them, it just doesn't have the same energy. It doesn't have the same it's certain ones that you go to, like right now. I would say those would be the bigger four.
Not putting diamonds in there.
Diamonds, I haven't been in a few years. It's probably still
yes, no. I mean, it just depends.
I don't know, but right now Diamonds is getting competition from the worlds. See, they have the world championships around the same time as Diamonds. People have to try and choose at some time, and I think they're starting to get hit. They're starting to feel the effects of it. Like there's certain things that people are trying to do something different, and they go out of the country and they go to this one, and it's like 18 different world championships. They're all around like October, November. So it's like you know,
Yeah.
you don't know where people are going to go to and do. So I think they're starting to get hit a little bit. But yeah, if I would say though, I would say those 4 are probably the ones you might get the biggest thing out of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
or you go overseas.
Yeah.
Because you did have comic books, people reading your comics overseas. So.
Yeah.
Quebec would be fun. Quebec would be a fun one for you to go.
Yeah. Oh
to.
yeah. Actually, yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
Quebec would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll throw that in there. But I mean, it'd be funny. Actually, it would be actually interesting. It would
It'll
be
be
funny.
funny?
It would be funny because just out of all the tournaments that are on NASCAR, Quebec, you feel like you're in a different country. Like you feel the difference
Yeah,
in the
different.
yeah. It's a different feel because
Like,
you'll go there
Toronto-
and you don't know anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll go there and you don't know anybody who's competing. You may know like a couple people, and then it's like the local people who are there. You're not normally seeing them. They're speaking French. It's like when they're talking on the mic, it's French first, then it's English. So like you get a different feel from it. So it's a good time. You know, I shout out to the Claire and David, but yeah,
and Sam.
yeah.
Yep.
But I would say that would be a good one to go to as well.
Yeah,
Alright.
and it's an awesome night show. I mean,
Yeah,
amazing.
that night show is like nothing else. Like nobody else's night show is like theirs. Like
Yeah.
So
that
that'd be
thing
worth it.
that is
yeah,
just,
that'd be worth it.
yeah.
I mean, I tell you though, I think that the battle and AKA do an awesome job. Like that, there's
Yes.
something to what they are doing, and both of them do production. Like the highlight videos and the opening videos, the stuff they did this year at Battle was like
was kind of cool.
amazing. Like the way they did it, and and the certain things of having the camera in the background, watching you walk all the way up. Things like that. It's just fun. It's
Battle
cool.
has, you can see that Battle is putting a lot of thought into how they're presenting it, because they don't have just one nighttime show. They have like what, 2? I know at least 2.
Yeah.
They have one on Friday and they have one on Saturday. But yeah, so even that that feel for Battle is it's a different feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. I know this year, I think there would have been more people from other sides of like outside of sport martial arts and like the stunt side if there wasn't a UFC event the same night.
Yeah.
And because in the past, I mean, like I saw a lot of UFC fighters at the Battle. Like I saw Tyron Woodley and many of those guys, and a lot of those guys, and a lot of them went to the UFC card instead of this. Now you had some of the the faithful guys, like Mark Canizzato and Caitlin and those guys that come from there, that were there. But I mean, I remember a time going to the Battle and seeing, Evander Holyfield and, Jason David Frank and, all these guys there, from all over the place. So it was where a lot of the celebrities would come to watch martial arts. So, so it was huge. All right. Anything, man? I think I covered.
You guys see Karate Kid yet?
I have not.
No, I have not.
No, I have not.
Oh my God, I'm the only one who's seen it.
That's
Actually,
crazy.
I'm the only one who's seen it.
I actually
Austin,
was
man,
getting
I've
ready
been
to
busy.
take Braylon. I was
too.
actually getting ready to take Braylon last weekend, and it was like only one time available. And I'm like, okay. When I saw that, I said, okay, it's about to be streaming pretty soon. Like, do I really want to try and force my way to go to a theater watch, or wait a few weeks and it's going to show up on Peacock or something like that? So,
What'd you think, Trev?
There's no purpose of Daniel.
I know that's since Karate Kid 1.
Yeah, exactly. That's just,
No, the story is that you can tell the only reason they put Daniel in there is to connect the two universes, the Jackie Chan one and the original storyline. That's the only real reason. He has no purpose. He literally has no purpose in this movie. I mean, he's there when he finally shows up. Like the young lady I was with, she was just like, "Yo, why? Where's Daniel? I thought Daniel was in this." And I was like, "He gonna show up at some point," but when he does, it's just kind of like,
I don't know where.
all
What
right.
was the
Yeah,
point?
no, Jackie goes and gets him, but it's just like,
Was it
Why?
a post-credit scene?
Yeah. There was
All
one.
right, so I gotta wait for that. All right.
Oh God.
I mean, well, I mean, you don't have to wait for it, but it connects Cobra Kai. So
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. All right.
yeah, it connects Cobra Kai. So, but
Okay.
Jeff, what do you want to correct them about their show, about some of the movies they've been reviewing and what they've gotten wrong on their show about what's going on the last?
We gotta
Really?
call it the DOS
That's
report.
right.
We get it every Friday morning. The DOS report.
It's been a little bit. I took a break. I missed the last two just since I guess it was when I was on, right? I've just been busy because I was at battle. I was running my tournament. I was doing a lot. So, and I had black belt tests.
we were perfect. We were perfect. It was great.
You guys are great. So you guys were
No,
awesome.
you weren't. No, you weren't. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Mai was in the original Dragon Ball. Mai was in the original Dragon Ball. She didn't just pop up in Dragon Ball Super. She was in. The
No, I
original
knew
Dragon
Mai was in the original. I
Ooh.
said she was never connected to Piccolo.
That
I
is
never
true.
said she wasn't. She was never
Uh-huh.
connected. She hung out with Garlic.
Yeah,
His gang.
and yeah.
Dang.
Just saying.
And then in
Deep
the
cut,
future,
King.
she was with Trunks. She was older
Yeah.
with Trunks, with future
Well,
Trunks.
she got shrunk or whatever, reduced, and so she grew up with him eventually. At that point, whatever it was, they ended up doing. But
I never
All
said
right,
she wasn't in it. I just said how did she end up being on with Piccolo as like a minion of his? That's all I was saying.
Oh, in the movie, but yeah.
All right. So you guys have been to Comic Cons, and I've been to a lot of wrestling type cons. Well, not a lot, but a few. And I've just seen a bunch of Comic Con type things coming up. There's a bunch in our area. There's this company called Big Lick Comics, and they do.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know.
I thought I heard it wrong.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh, you heard it right, Chad. You heard it right.
Yeah, I know. Woo. So they do a lot of different, Comic Cons. So, and I know that they've tried to have some cons, or, I know MayaCon is happening, which is, at the US Open. But if we had something like that for martial arts, or even sport martial arts for like, a convention, who are some of the people that would need to be there, and who would like you be in the line to get an autograph or a picture with? It doesn't have to be sport, right? It could be martial arts. It could be, I don't know.
Man, you know what? I've never been a person that gets stuck on celebrities, and there's been a few martial artists who have come to Detroit for the Motor City Comic Con, and I've seen them, and I did not get their autograph or go talk to them. I remember one time Michael Jai White was sitting there by himself for a long time, and I didn't even approach him to even go talk to him. I mean, that has never really been one of my main things to do. But if we ever did something, I don't know, man. I guess at this point in time, I probably want to talk to Daniel and ask him, ask like, why does this character suck so bad? Like,
He was just here. They were just here 2 years ago.
Did you have any input in how this character was written or anything, man?
Right.
Because I really don't like the character Daniel LaRusso. I can't stand that character.
Oh, dang it! They took mine. Who? Sam? That's the exact same thing I was gonna say. That's literally what I was gonna say. Chuck Norris, let's go.
That is that would
Chuck
be,
Norris
that
would be
is good.
fantastic.
Yeah, that would.
Gene,
And
would
he's
you want to
starting
get a
to
picture with?
Chuck Norris is starting to put out TikToks now. He's doing TikTok trends and everything, which is with his son and with his wife. It's hilarious, and he's like leaning into all the memes, which is funny. Instead of like, I didn't know how he thought about that. Yeah, so he brings up all the memes. He starts talking about it. It's pretty funny.
That's cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna ask Gene would he wanted to get a picture with Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. What the hell that come from?
I'm asking a simple question.
That's a weird question.
Just asking a simple question. Why is there not?
Wow.
I don't know where you going. Like,
Is
you don't
this an
ask
inside?
somebody that question like
I'm
that.
just asking him a simple question because she did like Tomb Raider. That's kind of karate-ish, like, right? Like, she did movies.
Maybe the Joe
All right.
or Angel.
Yeah.
Oh,
What are we talking about now? Yeah, you're about to get Angel. The Tomb Raider is a martial arts movie. What? In the
I mean, wait, they just
Listen.
did Bullet Train. They did Bullet
Well,
Train,
that's true.
okay?
That wasn't my
I want to
pick.
listen to that. I like that movie. So
I
maybe
actually
don't-
liked it.
Yeah, I like
I
that
actually liked it.
movie.
You guys are right. Gene, you are right. This is a Travis movie. This is a movie that I actually liked. This is what it was. That
Yeah, I
actually
saw.
that type
Yeah,
of movie.
yeah.
And technically, Angelina Jolie was the tigress in Kung Fu Panda. So
There you
Well,
go. So there's a
if
martial
you really
arts
want,
connection.
if you really
There
want to
you
connect
go.
it, if you really
There
want to
you
connect
go.
No, I mean, not really. No, I don't have anything to say to her. I never even thought about the chick. Like, I don't like. Can I get a picture?
Oh my
What?
god.
I can't get nothing out of that.
Whoa.
I can't get nothing out of that picture.
My god. Woo, all right. We're live. We're live, Gene. All right.
I kept it PC, you know.
This is funny. I don't know. There's some people I think that would do really well, you know, like with their personalities, right? I mean, of course, there's a reason why people have Bill Wallace everywhere. It's because of his personality. Of course, he's an amazing martial artist, but he's just fun to be around. He has a good time when he's at the seminars. So I think people like that, you know, would have a big line, you know, there. I mean, I think that's why Ernest Miller, you know, went into pro wrestling because he has that personality. He would be someone great for that. I mean, honestly, I would just like to see what the heck Manny Reyes Jr. would do. All right. So, I mean, just why not? Why not, you know, put him in that environment? I know that talking to Carmichael, like that's part of the plan of this WMAC Masters kind of rebirth is to get more of those guys to those events. Now, some of them go to them and stuff, but trying to get them highlighted more to be able to do that, you know, because a lot of people are making good money off of Comic-Cons based off stuff they did 30 years ago. You know, like I was watching videos on the Power Ranger guys and they were doing a video on why they originally left and the whole behind the scenes thing. There's a lot of people that are into knowing all the details of that stuff, you know.
Would you want to get a picture with Ty-Mac?
Who you talking to?
Bruce Leroy.
No, who are you talking to? Me or are you talking to
Any of y'all?
I don't really don't. I don't.
I
really
didn't
care
get
about
one when he was at
people.
DC. So
Look,
he
I'll
was
tell
at
you what.
Yeah, you used to be a copy of the class sometimes.
You know, I really don't care about getting a picture with people. But if I had a chance to talk to somebody, I probably want to talk to Jackie Chan and probably Ernie.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Talk to Ernie because like Ernie literally was like the first kid, you know, superstar martial artist. You know, and I want to know like what was it like for him, you know.
Yeah,
What's
I mean,
the
I
funny
enjoy
crap?
talking.
there's just a story in my head that I would want to have that conversation with him about. But other than that, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I know when I had a conversation with Sonny Ono at when I went to the wrestling WrestleCade, that was fun because you know I made a purpose like I'm going to go to the karate guys ones first, you know, and talk to them and you know just kind of have that behind the scenes type thing. And I think talking to them, he didn't really realize like how much I knew and how much into the scene I was, you know, because I'm like telling him about you know, well. You know, I know, you know, I'm good friends with Terry, you know, Terry Kramer, and it just didn't. I think it didn't click with him until like after I left. Like, oh wait, he really knew what he was like. He was talking about my friend. You know, it was just kind of like he was just in that mode of pro wrestling and didn't think about sport martial arts. You know,
Sport
like
martial
why
arts,
would yeah. So it was kind of funny on that. But yeah, I think that would just be fun. There's some people. I mean, of course. Raymond would ham it up and would have a good time. You know, there would be people like that could, you know, if we get more of these guys, you know, I mean, again, Rissa Kalar, she goes to those sometimes because she was the, she played young Ahsoka and did the stunts for young Ahsoka. And she goes to those and gets to do autographs at the Comic-Cons and stuff. Like, that's really cool. A lot of these people doing these stunt double stuff can go to these things, you know,
I
because
never
there's
really thought about that.
that into
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I know that some of the money these guys make and just at those things is crazy.
Yeah, Miguel and Hawk were just here in May for Motor City Comic Con. Their line was crazy, real quick. I mean,
Yep.
they went on lunch break. People waited for them to come back, and then they had too
Hilarious.
long. Huh?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Well, like I again this video today of like the guys that play like Zach and Jason in
Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. They said they at that time they went to one of these signings and they were going to like these car show signings and they would go to like a car dealership and they have this line and they made more
They got
money.
ripped off.
Oh, they got ripped off so much. They made more money in one of those signings than they did for the whole season of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like
That's crazy.
and that's a 40 episode series, like season.
Yeah, they told them they were doing the pilot for Power Rangers,
Yeah.
and they got stuck doing 40 episodes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, this is
Yeah.
gonna be one little pilot.
Yeah. And then
We own you now. We own you.
Yeah, I
that's
mean that's why I didn't even realize Zach and Jason they weren't in the movie when they did the movie.
yeah,
weren't
no,
in
they
it.
weren't.
They
They
had
left
a
it.
contract dispute after the first 2 seasons, and they
Yeah.
didn't show up for the movie. So
'Cause
I
they tried
realized
to
they were getting ripped off.
they tried to do the same thing with the movie. They tried to make them. They had to sign a 3-movie deal to do it.
yeah, and he was saying when he first Jason, who was the Red Ranger, he was saying in his little interview that he wasn't even 18. And he said that shouldn't I have my parents look at this contract or talk to an attorney? They said, well, there are other people who will sign it right now. If you're not going to do it, we'll just hire somebody
You
else.
got 30
to do it. So
people
he
in
went
line
ahead-
behind you.
Yeah, so he just went ahead and did it, and then they found out that they were getting screwed, and it is what it is. They'll be kind of cool to talk to for Fist Kicks and Flicks.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
True.
definitely. That's what I meant to do this weekend. Oh, I should have gone to the seminar, to the Bill Wallace seminar Sunday. It was about an hour up the road, but I really enjoyed being at home and just chilling because I hadn't been home in like 6 weeks. But
You gonna learn how to skip
Oh, that's
up and
crazy,
quit?
man. That's crazy.
but I wanted to go, and that way I could get an interview and get him on the show and get him on Inside Scoop.
Mm.
You know? So I'll work on that though.
Oh, I would love to see. Oh, I would love that to happen.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
just
that would
love
be-
for that
That would be
episode.
a lot.
Yes. Like, yeah, say it now, Alex. Go ahead. tell him about his skip up kicks aren't effective. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and tell him that. Yeah, let's go.
Oh no!
Oh man. I will tell you, it's so funny. Some of the people who stop talking to me at tournaments based off of stuff that happens on the show or something that I don't even say or
You
something
didn't
that
say.
Alex says or that people have a conversation in the comments and they're like, you let them talk trash about our tournament or this or that or about this person or this and that. I mean, it's
Like,
crazy.
what am
to
I
me.
supposed to be like? Hey,
You can't get mad at somebody's experience though. That's crazy.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It is what it is. That I let you share your side and they share their side. Like that's
don't
what we
want
do
that.
here. You know?
yeah,
So-
they don't want that.
It's so funny though, man. It's so funny how that works. But again, I mean, one of those guys finally talked to me and actually, told me to let's get it sushi before I went up on stage. Hadn't talked to me in 3 years, but
Hilarious.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been fun. Check out. All right. So what is tomorrow? So tomorrow, Tuesday, our show will come out, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
The next show is
No,
what?
Wednesday.
Wednesday
No,
is
Wednesday. Brett comes out Wednesday.
Brett is
His,
Wednesday. All right, his will come out.
Yeah.
So make sure
Yeah.
you guys check out the traditional way. And then Thursday will be Fist Kicks and Flicks. And you guys are doing what's the movie again?
Time
Notorious Nick.
Notorious.
Oh
Nick.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Talks
next week, man. That's next week.
What's next week?
Time Cop.
Oh,
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And then
time.
me and Joe got another show, Superflix. Man,
Oh
we
yes.
we just got done reviewing the first 3 RoboCop movies from the 80s and early 90s, and man, I didn't realize how bad those movies suck. That was the first time, Trav. First time I ever really watched RoboCop. And it was popular when we were kids. And
Yeah, it really was.
The video game.
I do not.
Yeah,
The
understand
video
why.
game was nice.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
See, I just have bad memories of RoboCop at WCW, saving Sting, and going super slow. It was so bad.
He's getting
I forgot
beat
about
up.
that. Oh my
Hurry up.
God, I forgot about that. Wow.
yeah, we're gonna do the newer one this Friday. The new
Nice.
one, RoboCop that came out in 2014. So I know that has to be better than the
It
one that
is.
came
It's
out.
way
in the
better.
80s. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's way better. Oh man. All right, Trav. Will I see you anywhere soon, man? Or you hanging out? You gonna show up?
I
at
haven't
any-
decided if I'm gonna go to US Open or not. I'm still
Okay.
trying to figure that out. If I'm gonna do that. Yeah, we'll see what else is going down. Really, it's just trying to get the app done and finished and tested. And you guys will probably be getting links to your email soon, so you guys can test it. I had some people testing it this weekend while they were drunk. And they came up with certain things. It was like, hey, how come when I do this, it don't? I'm like, all right, okay, let me put that in there. So that'll stop it. But it's just getting people who don't like, because people gonna use it in weird ways, and it's like, yeah, okay, you're searching for yourself.
Trav, do you think that's where the world is going now?
What?
Because I hear a lot of times people complain about social media with all the shadow banning and everything like that. Do you think people are going to start creating their own apps and having them be free? Of course. I mean, I guess you could charge for the app, but I don't know how successful you would get with people just if you say it's 99 cents or $9.99 or something like that to download it. You think that's where it's going now?
No.
Apps. Okay.
No. Because at the end of the day, social media, the reason why social media is good is because number one, it's free. Number two, everybody's already on there and you could build out an audience. But for the most part, your audience, you have to find a way to monetize on your audience. If you can't monetize your audience, having 1 million followers, 2 million followers is useless. It's because that user is already on there, right? Like you're competing with everything in the world. So trying to add another app that does whatever, chances are it's going to be just like you adding a website and people aren't going to even use your app, like, right? So there has to be a specific way and reason for that. Like for us, the number one thing that we're building out isn't just to show videos. It's eventually going to be doing live streams. It's eventually going to be doing different things. Like right now, we have over 5,000 people on Facebook and 18 or 16,000 I know over on Instagram. And then they don't show it in front of everybody. They don't put our content in front of everybody. So and
they want you to spend the money.
You got to spend the money. You got to act like an asshole or do goofy stuff online to try and like get people to notice and talk. But that's the game. Like if you're gonna do this, you're gonna try and be that. You gotta. It's part of the game of being online. So, and I'm not gonna do that for us. I'm like it's just not gonna do it. But with that being said, it's too many hurdles. Number one, number two, just getting your app built is going to cost you some money, right? Like it's just it's going to cost you some money. Isn't that? And what people don't realize, it's going to cost you to maintain that. Like you have to update the app, you have to figure out the security of the app, you have to figure out all of these different things that go into this and how much it is going to cost. And you have to work with all the different servers, and like you got to work with Amazon, with AWS, you got to work at Microsoft, you got to work on all these different things, and then they nickel and dime you every way. So you got to try and keep your budget down. You got to try and market it. You got to have some way somebody as using your app incorrectly, and they're like, hey, I need help. You need somebody to talk to that person. Like, so
tech support.
It gets into a very if you're not in this space and don't know what the hell you're doing, you're going to get ripped off. You're going to end up spending all your money and it's going to fail. So you really have to find a way around that. So social media still does what it does. It still has a purpose. Like YouTube, it's still, you can put stuff behind a paywall now. You can do different things on YouTube. So it still serves a purpose, but YouTube is also cluttered. So now you got to use the other social media to like advertise. So you got to have a whole bunch of marketing and advertisements and stuff like that to go through it. So it's a lot of stuff that has to go into. You can't think of it like that. You have to think of yourself as a company and all the different factions of a company and the budgeting and stuff like that. So what we're building out, I don't think most other people are going to be willing to build out what I'm building out here. And it's a whole purpose, a reason for it. And there's different reasons for we want people to continue using the app, because it's not going to be just our stuff. It's going to be for everybody. Like you're going to go on our app and you're going to be able to watch Sport Karate Zone or sportmartialarts.com. They're still getting the views. We're not getting anything out of it. It's just allowing people, it's just centralizing where people can watch all the stuff they need to watch and search and figure out and do different things on it. So so I'm all about working together with everybody, not isolating stuff. So
that's cool. That's awesome.
Man. So it's like, you want to see some videos and we didn't put them out. They got them up. Boom. They're still getting the views on their channel. So that means it's helping YouTube out and blah, 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 and going through that way.
Awesome. I love it. All right, guys. Well, this has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Jeff Doss. This is the main gang. See you guys next week.
Peace.
Later.